For me, laser has always been linked with electronic music.
Hi everyone. Stay tuned. In a few seconds you can watch an exclusive interview with Jean-Michel Jarre. Camera's on?
Yeah.
My hairs are fine? Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, perfect.
Yeah, perfect, right?
Perfect.
Jean-Michel,
Yes.
thank you for your time. Looking back, what do you remember most about your first collaboration with us?
I think the first collaboration with KVANT was a big relief because for years I was expecting and looking for a partner and became a friend who is able to create actually the right tools for me as a musician, but also as a visual artist. My first experience was in Bratislava, where I was looking for trying to create some graphics at a large scale on building. And I said, but you know, in these days, in the 21st century, we should maybe find somebody in the world able to transmit what I have in mind in terms of graphics and animation. And I've been really impressed by the fact that with KVANT and with your company, suddenly you were able to manufacture and create the hardware and also to use this hardware for creators. So that was really something very important in my life.
How was technology changed live performance since the days of your first synthesizers?
Actually, when I got my first synthesizer, I said, okay, it's not very sexy to stay behind a synthesizer or a laptop for 2 hours on stage. I was very interested in those days, and still, but in those days, by opera as an art form, where back in time, musicians were working with stage designer, scenographs, painter, carpenters to build an whole scenography around the music they were doing to tell a story in a different way. And then I got the idea to use the tools of my generation, video, big slides projecting on architecture, lights, and what would become a laser vocabulary. I've been really lucky to go through different disruptive and three different revolutions. One for the analog world with the first synthesizers and the first laser beam or lights. The second one was the emergence of digital with computers, and of course it changed everything for you and for me. And the third one today is also with artificial intelligence and AI. So the evolution since my first synthesizer has been huge in terms of not only the tools, but how sophisticated, how complex we can be, and subtle we can be with the tools.
You mentioned AI. So I basically, if I would learn a little bit more and go more in detail with that, I could also create music. So what would you differentiate you and me when I'm creating music with AI? Do you not have fear that the people just listening in the future, just AI music, generated music?
Okay, it's a very interesting point. You know, human beings are always afraid of innovation. You know, at the beginning of photography, painters were signing petitions saying photography is going to kill painting, is the end of paintings. Because on one click, you can create what a painter would make weeks or months to do.
Yeah.
And then when I started electronic music, I introduced electronic music in the French Opera House, and some members of the symphonic orchestra were unplugging the PA system, saying electronic music is going to kill orchestras. You know, every generation are afraid of what could happen next. And I think that, you know, and you know that in laser, technology is a catalyst for creating new genre of art form. The letter AI is less artificial intelligence than augmented imagination.
Okay.
The fact that for me it's an extension of what I can do. And of course, with AI, you can parrot the system and copy some existing music. But you know, this idea was existing far before AI. What makes an artist is style, his singularity. When you are harvesting AI, you are harvesting the past. What makes an artist is to use the past to create something unique, which is himself or herself.
Okay.
So this is the reason why AI can be a problem for some jobs in the future, but for artists, it's another tool, and a tool which is an opportunity to expand our imagination. So it's not depending on the tool, it's depending on yourself. So with AI, it's the same.
What can you create today that would have been impossible 10 years ago?
I think that is the flexibility, the fact that you can play with lights and with lasers like you could play with musical instruments. Before, it was very difficult to create emotions or subtleties. It was on or off, or yes or no.
Yeah.
And then now, between on and off and yes or no, I'm able, and with technology such as KVANT, for instance, lots of different subtleties, lots of different colors, lots of different shapes, adapted to what I want to express and share with the audience. And of course, AI is changing everything. For me, for the first time for this show, I'm using AI live to transform anything live and not pre-recorded. And that's something that, of course, AI technology is allowing to do, and that, of course, 10 years ago would have been impossible.
The next question, Jean-Michel, do you have the same approach when you started with electronic music as you have now?
I think yes. I think, what drives me and what I think drives any kind of artist is the idea of curiosity. I'm as curious as I was when I was a teenager. I'm talking about AI. For me, when I discovered AI, it's like when I discovered my first synthesizer. And also with the same enthusiasm, but also the same excitement by trying to discover something new. And I'm not afraid of the future, because I think the future is, by the end of the day, what we are going to do with this. So I have the same enthusiasm about technology, because technology for me is a way to surprise myself.
What will make the tour, which will start in a few days, so exciting?
Actually, the 2026 tour is a continuation of what we started last year. This new tour is for me different on every aspect. First of all, the musical point of view, I worked a lot on the sound with the sound engineers on how to express my music in a better way and optimizing the technique. On a visual point of view, is to try to create a better connection between video, lights and lasers. Like, an existing score for a conductor. Every conductor can play with an orchestra, and every time it's going to be different. And what makes a great conductor from a standard one is actually he has a specific vision. And even if it has been played 1,000 times, he will be able to find another angle to make it even more exciting. And this is exactly the situation I'm in for this 2026 tour.
Is there still a dream, a project or vision that you would like to bring life in the future?
It's actually, I think there is nothing new in the life of an artist. Why I'm saying this is because you take the Beatles, you take Pink Floyd, you take Tarantino, you take Kubrick. They're all doing the same album or the same movie. it's what you call style, because you instantly recognize the sound of Pink Floyd or a movie of Tarantino. And what I'm saying by this, my dream is actually one day to be as close as possible of what could be my perfect project. And you know, it's like a mirage. Each time you think, I'm going to get closer of it. And then it's like a soap. And you try to get it, and it's almost there. And so every project is a mixture of hope and frustration. And that's the reason why that my dream is actually to be able to continue to be as close as possible of this idea of the perfect concert or the perfect album. I hope I will be able to make one day.
Thank you for watching the interview with Jean-Michel. If you click on the link below the video and answer the questions, you have a chance to win 2 tickets for a concert and a 10 minutes time to speak with Jean-Michel. Good luck, see you there.